everybody, this is Stratus Gaming here, and welcome back to some more NASCAR '07, Episode 2. We're still doing the Busch Series stuff. We're going to do Race 6 to Race 10 today, which I've already recorded these, so you're going to be hearing the voiceovers for each of them. So we ended up doing Bristol, we did Bristol, Texas, Dodge Raceway Stadium, Phoenix, and Talladega. And we also did a hot lap race, or a hot seat race. We got our first hot seat, which was for the Cup Series at... Actually, I'm not going to spoil it. You'll see the track later on, which was very fun. So, without further ado, let's get into this video. Enjoy my live voiceover, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everybody. So, here we go for the first race today at Bristol for 12 laps. Yeah, this is definitely the longest race so far we've had. Yeah, just not much really to talk about. It's just... You know, it's NASCAR, and I was watching this with Connor, and he said that it feels like I'm doing, like, the reviews with my commentary, because that's what it is. Like, I could act like I'm in the race, but I've already done that, and, yeah, I just feel like doing my commentary that I do for, like, the Fallout New Vegas stuff. Yeah, Bristol's a fun track. This is a really fun track for NASCAR '07 and NASCAR '06. I mean, all the NASCAR games, Bristol is great, but... Yeah, we got our another pole, so, yeah, this basically translates to us literally winning a race, possibly. I mean, sometimes I've actually gotten poles and never won, but here we go for Bristol, which, Sharpie Mini 300, starting first. I actually found that I had the pole position thunder plates on, so that's why I kept starting first. However, I turned those off, so next part, we're going to actually have to qualify, which I didn't realize that, but that's okay. Anyways, me and Kyle Busch, once again. I did check online, by the way. Jimmie Johnson was in the Busch Series in 2006. Which, is pretty interesting. He was in the Busch Series in 2006. And I didn't check 2007, but I know for a fact he was in the 2006 Busch Series. He was awful in there. He was also in the Busch Series in, like, the early 2000s, like 2000, maybe 2001, maybe in 1999. He was driving that 92 Alltel Chevrolet, you know, the one where he almost died at Watkins Glen. Which, there's a video from Kamikaze Games saying, what if Jimmie Johnson died at Watkins Glen? Memories. But anyways, yeah, that Ryan Newman scheme. Connor was asking about that Ryan Newman scheme, which is that purple scheme that you see behind me. Yeah, he drove that when Kurt Busch wasn't pulling double duty in the Busch and Cup Series. Which is interesting. And then Ryan Newman was pretty much doing the exact same thing. But, yeah, they're both driving the 39 car, which is interesting, honestly. There was a driver that Connor was saying that, was just an added extra. It was Jimmie Johnson, but no, Jimmie Johnson was not an added extra. He was in the Busch Series in 2006. But he was truly abysmal in the Busch Series. For a guy who's won 5 championships in NASCAR, in the Cup Series, you would think dropping into the Busch Series you would be dominating. Nope, that's not the case. Yeah, not really much going on. It's just domination. Pure domination. Yeah, there were no cautions in this race, which kind of sucks, because if there was a caution, this would have been much more enjoyable for me, but... Yeah, next race is at Texas. Texas was pretty fun. It was wild, but it was fun, honestly. The Cup race, the hot seat race, was incredible. We were actually with a pretty decent team. Which, that's all I'm going to say before you guys see that, which is right after Phoenix. So, yeah, not really much to say. It's just me going around, literally dominating this entire race, just like what happened in the other one. Apparently we have, after Talladega, we actually only have a total of 9 wins. There's 2 races, or no, actually 8 wins. Or 9 wins. No, 9 wins. So there is a race where we have not won yet. I don't remember which race that was. I'll have to go back in the footage and read this game, but... as you can see, someone did go in the pit road, which kind of sucks, honestly, for that. But, yeah, literally on the white flag now. Well, yep, we're just on the white flag now, and it's just been a domination station, as you can see. Like, it's pretty damn good. And looks like Denny Hamlin in pit road, so... It looked like the Rockwell Automation Chevrolet. But off turn 4, we get another win. We get our 6th win, or our 5th win of the season, which is pretty cool. And look at that, Earnhardt Jr. 4th. Now, I did realize Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Mark Jr. are sharing the number 8 paint scheme in this game, which is interesting. But anyways, on to Texas Motor Speedway now. So here we are at Texas Motor Speedway for the O'Reilly 300. This is a really interesting track. Like, Texas has always been a great track. I know a lot of people didn't like Texas back then, but I did. Now, this is one of the tracks that has the apron glitch, where if you go over the apron, you can spin out. This was the other track I was talking about during episode 1, where I was talking that Dover, Lowe's Motor Speedway, and then there was another track which would be Texas Motor Speedway. Shut up, phone! I said shut up! Jesus Christ. My phone started turning on for some reason. I don't know why, if you heard that. I can't believe that got caught on the video. That actually scared me. That kind of made me jump. I was like, who the fuck is talking? And then I realized it was my phone over there. Cause how do I turn that, like, voice assist thing off? Because it's annoying, honestly. It's done that, like, 3 times now. But anyways, sorry about that. As you can see, the ticker's moving because we aren't... This is one of the races, I don't think we got pole, but it didn't matter because we started on pole. Yeah, 6. I mean, it's a good thing that actually this, like, see, it said Tony Stewart started 4th, but, yeah, and then as you can see, we get into the race, and there we are starting 1st. But yeah, after episode 3, we're going to be having to qualify for all these races, so. Anyways, green flag, me and Brian Vickers starting on the front row. I was going to give Brian Vickers another win in this race, but I decided not to give Vickers a win. Instead, I was actually trying to win, but unfortunately, this car is very loose and very tight. Right there, see, you can see it gets loose right there, and I get into Matt Kenseth, and... Yeah, Connor was saying that Matt Kenseth car is the 7 car, no, it's the 17. And I found out Mark Martin is in the Busch Series. He's driving the number 6. He's not full-time in the Busch Series, I don't think, because the first race that I've ever seen him was Phoenix. I think it was also the last race, or the next race after Texas, which is Dodge Raceway Stadium. Which, Dodge Raceway Stadium, oh my god, that's a fun track. In literally every NASCAR EA game. Yeah. There's not much really to say about this, though. It's just Texas Motor Speedway. Yay, it's always fun to go to this track, honestly. Now, yeah. As you can see, Tony Stewart is behind Brian Vickers, and I think that white car might be Matt Kenseth, or it could be Mark Martin. I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, there's Brian Vickers trying to catch up to me. Almost turns me, but you know, which is pretty cool, honestly. Well. Now, Greg Biffle was not in this race, which, or if he was way in the back, which is pretty good. When we go to Talladega, you're actually gonna see Greg Biffle try to wreck me a couple of times, but it doesn't work. Yeah, there's Tony Stewart trying to catch up, and you can see we're pretty slow. Like, Brian Vickers just went around me. And then here comes that Kenseth around. Once again. And then I decided, you know what, since he did that stupid stuff to me... By the way, how is this not a caution? Elliott Sadler gets caught up into it. I hit Greg Biffle, I hit Dale Earnhardt Jr., and then I also hit Harvick. But how does that not cause a caution whatsoever? If this was like modern day NASCAR, they would have thrown the caution out immediately because they already saw someone spinning up and they saved it. Because today's NASCAR sucks big dick, honestly. But yeah, that completely destroyed our car. We're actually going to have a debris caution from me. We're going to have a debris caution very soon. It actually happens just as I catch up to... it happens as soon as I catch up to this big group of cars. Which, yeah, it was just really bad. It was right next to the second to last lap. Oh, right there, if you saw, Clint Bowyer ended up hitting a wall, which is interesting. Like, I've never seen that before, where Clint Bowyer ended up hitting a wall. I know in One If Racing's NASCAR 6 playthrough, J.G. Haley ended up hitting the wall for no reason on the straightaway. As you can see, we start catching up, and then there goes the hood right there. And then, unfortunately, this is what completely killed our momentum in the race, because we have an off start in the race, but, yeah. It's just what you expect, honestly, from this game. Yeah, we're going to be restarting with 2 to go, so it's going to be a green-white checkered, which is pretty cool, honestly. So yeah, green-white checkered. Clinton player behind me, Jeremy Mayfield in front of me. I tried to share draft with Jeremy, because that way I get better speed. As you can see, the start was pretty good. So if you draft with someone, it's good, but then as you can see, they start pulling away, and then you get fucked, which, yeah. Yeah, not really much to see, exactly. So this is where I was like, yep, we're gonna lose our top 5 streak. However, we actually don't lose our top 5 streak in this one. Because, as you can see right here, it looks like the AI starts slowing down. Because on the final lap, you can see we start getting this huge momentum. Like, we're able to pick off... like, I get into Jeremy Mayfield. We're able to pass by him. And then we have to get ahead of Kenny Wallace, which Kenny Wallace basically gives me the shot. Denny Hamlin thinks it's okay to block, which is cool. I give Denny Hamlin a shot, get into Ryan Newman a little bit, which pisses him off. And then I managed to go around Kyle Busch and Tony Stewart, and it's a drag race down to the tri-oval, and there we go. I win by, like, literally a full car length, which is awesome. And look at that, Tracy Johnson, 10th. Tracy Johnson's first top 10 I've ever seen, so. Yeah, Texas was definitely one of the coolest races and one of the most interesting we've done so far in this video, on this playthrough. Anyways, moving on to Dodge Raceway Stadium, one of my favorite tracks in the game. So here we are, Dodge Motorsports 300 at Dodge Raceway Stadium. This is one of my favorite tracks in the NASCAR EA Sports games. A lot of people don't like this track, but I love Dodge Raceway Stadium because you can stay in the 3rd gear for the entire race and basically beat the field. Even on Legend difficulty, you can do the exact same thing. But this one I decided to do 2 laps because look at how short this track is. This is literally Bowman Gray Stadium, but modernized, and used to be like a huge NFL stadium, which is pretty cool. Now, as you can see, I just stay in 3rd gear. Look at that, Ticker doesn't even move whatsoever. And this is a fantasy track, so the pole position play doesn't exist for the fantasy tracks. But yeah, this track is just so great, and look at that, qualifying's already done, and it's been like 15 seconds, which, yeah. Anyways, to the race now, which, yeah, this is one of my favorite tracks of all time, which, yeah, it's going to be very, very fun to go to this track. Now, this track is, it didn't have, I think, the most laps, I think, it's 17, or 12, or 14? I didn't see when we were in, like, the menu, but... yeah, 12, so it's tied with Bristol for being the biggest race of the season. As you can see, just hugging the bottom area right there, the car got loose. I was thinking about wrecking, but I caught it. Basically, for the rest of this race, I was in the lead. There was, like, nothing else going on whatsoever. I was in the lead for most of the race, which... well, most of the race, as in the entire fucking race, because Dodge Raceway is so easy. Getting my phone right there. Oh, boy. Not because Connor's on, because I think he's asleep currently, because it's 5:47 p.m. But yeah, this entire race, I basically just stayed in the lead. And then later on, I started lapping a couple of cars, which is pretty weird for NASCAR 7. Yeah, then we had a yellow flag. We actually had our first AI caution that wasn't caused by me. And it was Carl Lyons. Yeah, Carl Lyons. Yeah, just spun himself out. I don't really know exactly, because he is a joke. Yeah, he just lost it. He didn't even get touched by Luke George. He just lost it. But yeah, he's going to pit road because he's absolutely done with the car, which makes sense. Anyways, yeah, back to green flag racing, which is pretty cool. Yeah, as you can see, we restart. It puts us in 4th gear, ew. And then there's Aaron Crocker, which she tried, but we all know how bad Aaron Crocker was in NASCAR. Like, she was really awful in NASCAR. And look at that, she already loses 2nd to Tony Stewart. And she also drops all the way down to like 9th or 8th in the standings when the race ends. Like, that's truly abysmal, honestly. It's still a top 10, but it's still bad. Like, she could have gone in a runner-up finish, maybe even a top 5. But no, women really can't drive in NASCAR whatsoever, so... that's not sexist, it's just... most women drivers can't drive. I know, like, Haley Deegan and Natalie Decker were like the good ones. Danica was decent, but Danica was no spatial awareness. Which is now a meme at this point in the NASCAR video game universe. As you can see, I start trying to catch up to Luke George. I actually try to piss him off, because he's the guy that I thought spawned out Carl Lines, but you can see in the footage, Carl Lines ends up getting loose, and that's what causes it. As you can see, he's still on the track, and then right there he gets, the intimidation kind of works and slows him down, which is cool, and then I ended up hitting into the back of him. Someone did go into pit road, I didn't see who it was, and I don't think you can. I could just show who was in last, but I normally never do that. Because I'm worried that if I do that and I get to like the 10-minute mark, it might end the video right then and there, so. Yeah, not much really to say about this. And then I try to start drafting with Denny Hamlin, but Luke George is like, nope, you have to draft with me. Because fuck you and Denny Hamlin being all buddy-buddy. And at this point, I'm like, I'm just gonna lap a couple of more people. And that guy thinks it's okay to go to the bottom and try to block me, so I thought, you know, I'm just gonna try dumping him. Fortunately, it didn't work. But yeah, we ended up winning another race, which was pretty cool. Look at that, Eric Auger 7th. She gotta get a top 5 or maybe a runner-up finish. Richard Kennedy, though, wow, 3rd. Pretty good for Richard Kennedy, or 4th. Anyways, moving on to the next race, which is at Phoenix. So I'll be right back. So here we are once again at Phoenix International Raceway for the Bash at Supermarkets 200. It's actually been a full day since I was editing this video. For you guys it would be a second, but it's been a full day since I started editing because I got tired and I just wanted to take a nap. But yeah, we're at Phoenix International Raceway. This is actually the second time I had to do the voiceover because for some reason the voiceover was quiet and I don't understand why. Because my mic wasn't working, it wasn't synced properly. But as soon as I turned on Bandicam, it was because of the settings. So yeah, here we are at Phoenix. Now, I don't remember them going to a night version of Phoenix in real life. I know they did it like way later, like 2017, 2016, but I didn't remember them doing it in the Gen 4 era. And if I did, then I'm kind of stupid, but yeah, I probably am stupid. But yeah, I prefer the night version over day for Phoenix. It looks so much better. Yeah, this is another easy race, honestly. I don't remember what happened here. I think we had a caution. I don't remember. This race and then the hot seat race as well as Talladega, I don't remember what happened. But yeah, we got pole, so even if I didn't have those the pole position plates, I would still get pole. So oh yeah, on to the race. Here we go. Which me and Clint Boyer on the front row, and yeah, 8 laps. Pretty damn good, honestly. And look at that start we have. Pretty awesome. But, yeah, we get to a pretty good lead. Well, it's a pretty good start, I would say. And then, yeah, we basically take off. Now, if I remember the rest of this race, we do take off. Like, we start outrunning the field. Which, yeah, is pretty cool. But, yeah, there's not really much to talk about this. It's just, this is pretty awesome, to be honest. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm tired. But, I'm a very, very tired boy, which, yeah. It just started raining, like, earlier, like, I wish I was recording, but you would have heard, or doing the voiceover, but you would have heard rain earlier, but, yeah, not really much to talk about, just Tony Stewart's behind me, and then Kyle or Jimmy, one of the two Lowe's cars, ended up falling back. But yeah, this race is pretty fun. I mean, I wish there was more going on. Like, I mean, I wish this wasn't season mode, because if this wasn't season mode, I would actually be dumping people. But since Casey Infernus is a hero driver in NFS in the NASCAR Phase Series, I can't just go ahead and wreck people for no reason. So, yeah. Also, if you saw the beginning, well, the last 2 videos of the beginning, this video and the other video, I don't know what's with my webcam. It's so bright for some reason. I'm like the mayonnaise man. Or the pale man. I don't know why that's the case, but yeah. I'll definitely do these videos, I think, for like the other NASCAR games, because it's so fun. I could do live commentary, but then I would have to move my microphone either to my couch, which is going to be uncomfortable. Oh my god, why? Or I could just bring the controller here in the PlayStation 2 and put it on the desk, and then just sit here on the small screen and record, which, not a good idea, honestly. Plus, the audio would be very loud on the microphone compared to the voiceover, so, yeah. But, yeah, there's not really much, just domination, honestly. Pure domination in Phoenix, which is interesting, I guess. Now, I don't know what the next tracks are. All I know is I know Richmond is race 11. I think it's Michigan, or one of the fantasy tracks, I don't remember. And then it's Dodge Raceway Stadium again, I think, or it could be Darlington. Lowe's Motor Speedway or Charlotte, and then it's Bristol again, or it could be Martinsville, I'm not sure. Yeah, Martinsville might actually be next. But I don't know, exactly. All I know is Richmond is the next race. It's for the Circuit City 350, which I think is Richmond, or it could be Darlington or Michigan. Well, I don't know, honestly. But, yeah, we'll soon see, because I think after I record this part, like, after I do the voiceovers and upload this part, I'm going to work on the next races, which should be race 11 to 15. And then maybe tomorrow or next day we'll work on race 20 to... or no, race 16 to 20, which should be pretty cool. And then we'll have race 20 to 25, and then race 26 to 30, and then race 31 to 35, because there's 35 races in the bush. I could have added like 2 Levi Strausses to make up for the 2 Poconos, but... or maybe or like 2 Nazareths for that, because we can use like 2 Nazareths, which would be pretty cool, but... yeah, off turn 4, it was a complete domination. We won by, I think, 7 or 8 seconds, which, goddamn. Which, that is pretty damn ridiculous, but, yeah. Phoenix is a very easy track, though. Look at that, Elliott Sadler 3rd, and Kurt Ham 10th. First top 10 for Kurt Ham. Anyways, moving on to the hot seat race, which is at California, so be right back. So here we go for the hot seat race at California for the Nextel Cup Series. We are driving the number 14 Waste Management Chevrolet driven by Sterling Marlin. It's pretty cool that we actually got this car for the Cup Series. So next season we can definitely have to look. I don't know if we're... I think next season we're going to be doing either Cup or Trucks. I think we might do Trucks. And we might do the Craftsman Truck Series next season, and then we'll do Wellen, or then we might do Ori Cup Series, and it's starting to rain again. Damn. But, yeah, this car is very, very fast. I like the number 14 Waste Management. Now, it's not really that different compared to the NASCAR 06, the 08, well, the 2007 number 14. It's just, I think this one has like a white front, whereas the other one doesn't. But, yeah, Sterling Marlin driving this car is pretty awesome, but... and it's like one of the cars you can get during the NASCAR 08 playthrough, like when you're in the Cup Series. But, yeah, California, we're actually at the day version. We went to California early in the playthrough in race 2, and it was the night version, so... yeah, it's going to be pretty cool to go to this track, which... this race was awesome. This was really fun. I think we had 2 or 3 cautions, and for my first Cup start, it was wild. It was really wild, honestly, but yeah, we got pole, so... that was easy, and even without the pole position plates, it would be easy. But here we go, first Cup Series race, starting in row 1 with Tony Stewart, which is pretty cool. And we only have one teammate because the 10 car does not exist in the 2006 season. Actually, it does, but it's not part of MD2 anymore. I don't think it is, actually. But as you can see, we have a horrendous start, as there's the number 10 of Scott Riggs right there. Or Patrick Carpenter, I don't remember his name. Jimmy Johnson's there, and then Matt Kenseth. A lot of these guys are currently in the Busch Series. Matt Kenseth, Tony Stewart, and Jimmy Johnson are like the ones that are going to be here. So, yeah, there's not really much to talk about. It's just, oop, see the car got tight there, and also just lost control. But as you can see, I'm trying to draft with people as well as make rivals. Matt Kenseth in the Busch Series currently is rivals with me, so I'm trying to make it like that, but. There's Jimmy Johnson. Get into Jimmy Johnson, and then there's where I basically turn him in. And look at this hard hitting to Jeff Gordon. Bam! Look at that. Oh, it just murdered Jeff Gordon. And then Earnhardt got a piece of it, too, so. And look at that. Wee-hee! Did like a little blowover, which is kind of cool. And he gets into a little bit of Mayfield? No, Sadler. No, it's Mayfield. Because Sadler didn't drive the 19 until 08. Well, he did drive it during this season, like at the end point of 2006. But yeah, look at the damage though, in between 2 Hendrick Motorsports cars. All right, well, we're gonna go back green flag racing, so car's a little bit damaged, but And at this point, I kind of felt bad wrecking Jimmy Johnson on purpose, so I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to draft with him. Fortunately, we have a really horrendous start. Like, a really horrendous start, and I know Jeff Gordon's a rival, so I'm trying to keep him behind me. But yeah, you can see there's Earnhardt Jr., which he's in the Busch Series part-time, not full-time. And then Ryan Newman's back there as well. Ryan Newman's part-time as well, but... Yeah, there's Johnson, which I'm sure drafting with him, and trying to no longer make him a logo rival, so... Yeah, this track, though, in the Cup Series is going to be pretty fun to go to, because this track is wild. California's always been a really awesome track to go to, or Auto Club. But yeah, as you can see, now we're making him an ally. If this was real life, if I bumped into, like, Jimmy Johnson, wrecked him, and then I made him an ally, that would not happen. He would just not be too happy, but... I didn't make him a logo ally, though, so it's fine. Yeah, I gotta run Matt Kenseth, and then at this point I'm starting to intimidate Tony Stewart, because Tony Stewart, I'm actually trying to make a logo rival in both the Busch and the Cup Series. Because I don't really like Tony Stewart. I mean, I was a Tony Stewart fan back in the day, but... Yeah, as you can see, it's working wonders to make him pissed off, because I am using Intimidator, which... And then at this point, I'm, like, trying to pass and accidentally got into him there, and then just more intimidation, which is great. This race is 10 laps, though, so if we ever go to the Cup Series, the races are going to be a hell of a lot longer, but then again, it's what you guys came to see, I guess, so... And then, of course, I got into him, and then Matt Kenseth goes to the inside, which I have really no room to even do anything. Now, of course, I make Tony Stewart even more mad, which, yeah, I make Tony Stewart even more pissed. And then there's Kenseth, who, yep, almost got into me, but the car is very, very tight, very loose. Then there's Tony Stewart trying to block again. Got into Matt Kenseth a little bit, for a good measure. But, yeah, it's just not much. And then you can see Tony Stewart is a mega enemy at this point. Like, he's just a mega enemy. Like a mega rival. Mega douchebag. And then right there, I just dump him right there. I don't know how that's not a caution. I mean, he didn't fully spin, but if that was real life, that would have been a caution, so. Yeah, now Tony Stewart's race is pretty much fucked at this point because of that. But now it's just hunting down Matt Kenseth. And then Jimmy Johnson trying to catch up to me, which, yeah. I know these hot seat offers are totally fake, but I'm just adding them into the game because it's kind of like what NASCAR 8 does, where you get like a hot seat offer. You usually only get it for the higher series, but this one I'm just going to do like trucks and Welland, because I started in the Busch series. Because in this universe, Casey Infernus is in the NFS series. What if he went to regular NASCAR? At this point, he would be in the Busch series. Maybe even the Cup series, but Cup series I don't think, because it's his rookie year, so Busch series he would be in, but Cup Series will be his rookie year. So I make Matt Kenseth a super mega ally, which is nice. And then for the next 2 laps, 3 laps actually, me and Matt Kenseth just battle each other. Like, it's just doing that. I was thinking of, like, swapping to Joe Nemechek, but I've considered no, I'm not going to do that. I think for this Let's Play, I'm not going to swap to any of my teammates, unless, of course, I get murdered in a race. So I think for this one, I'm also going to sign to a different contract for each of the stuff. Like, I'll take over a driver's car for that. So far, we did win the hot seat offer, and funny enough, after Talladega, I didn't record this, we did have a testing session for a Cup ride. It's one of the fantasy cars, which is not great. That fantasy car is the 141 EA.com or EA Sports car, which it's not great. It's 2 stars, so it's not perfect, but the hot seat offer, though, allows us to get a contract later on. And since we won the hot seat offer, we might actually get this car to use at the end of the season. Which, the hot seat cars that we do, like the hot seat races, when we get first, we'll be able to use these cars at the end of the season, which is nice. But as you can see, I did scrape the wall because me and Matt Kenseth is like... Matt Kenseth is playing as Ricky Bobby, and I'm playing as John Gerard. Yeah, it's a pretty good battle, honestly, for first and second, for 2 mega allies. And then, of course, on the last lap, I decided to do something dirty to Matt Kenseth, which you will soon see in just a second. Anyways, white flag is out, and then right here, I just decide to dump Matt Kenseth. Which, for no reason. And he's still an ally with me, which is hilarious. And then if you saw in the mirror, he actually got hit by 3rd place. Which 3rd place was Jeff Gordon, which is interesting. Unfortunately, it didn't cause a big one, which is good. And this is the last lap, so no cautions whatsoever. But... god damn, that is just it's just maddening, honestly, when someone like that gets involved in an But yeah, it's completely fine, I guess. And off turn 4, entering the Tri-Oval, we win our first Cup Series race and our first hot seat offer. How about that? And yeah, top 10 though. Jeff Green 10th, and Tony Raines 8th, Denny Hamlin 6th, damn. But yeah, on to the final race for this part, that would be at Talladega. So let's go to Talladega, back to the Busch Series. So here's our stats by winning the Busch Series. We have 8 wins, 9 top 5s, and 9 top 10s. We didn't win one of the races, and I don't remember which one that was. It's in one of the parts. It's in part 1 if I remember. But here we go, qualifying at Talladega. Now Talladega is a fun track. It's just like Daytona, except it's much more wilder, and big ones and the AI usually wrecking themselves is a lot more common. God, I love that engine sound. I love the NASCAR 06 and NASCAR 2005, NASCAR 07, 08, and 09 engine noise for the cars. Specifically Busch and Cup, they sound so good. They sound really good. Like this one, for example. Here we go, our first lap of the qualifying session. I don't know why I said pole, but it's weird. But yeah, this track is very fun. It's very, very fun. Now, in the race, we only had, I think, 1 caution, maybe 2, or maybe 0. I don't remember. But yeah, for this Talladega race, I know the Busch Series goes to Talladega. The last time they go here is like I think like at the end of the season. I don't remember if that's the case. I don't remember if that happens until like NASCAR 09 or NASCAR 08, but yeah, pretty damn cool, honestly, to say the least. But yeah, we do. If I remember, we get pole at Talladega, which is pretty cool, mainly because this car is so fucking fast. And I am using a custom setup, by the way, which is why I'm very, very fast, but yeah, as you can see, the ticker's not even moving, so we're going to get another pole, which is pretty cool. So that's, what, our 5th or 6th pole of the season? But yeah, here we go into the race, which is pretty cool. A lot of fantasy drivers starting up in, like, the top 10, which is interesting. And a lot of the big dogs towards the rear, which is interesting. But starting first, right next to Greg Biffle, who was a mega rival at this point. Which you will soon learn... Greg Biffle is gonna try to do stuff in this race. It's only 4 laps, which shorter than Daytona. Actually, no, it's the same race length as Daytona. But yeah, this is pretty easy of a race, honestly. There's Greg Biffle trying, but I've never seen that number 16 America Quest. I should probably use that for like the NASCAR Busch Series and NFS. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, there's Tony Stewart. Literally, we're actually the slowest car on the field, by the way, at the start, because I'm trying to block everybody. Unfortunately, Tony Stewart, you'll see later on, just passes right by me. Like, look at that. He's just going to go right by on the outside, and there he goes. He just takes off. He just takes off, and then I can't pass him at all. Mainly being in first is a bitch, honestly. And then right there, almost got spun by Jimmy Johnson. This is also the first race that Marshak Jr. is in, by the way, which is awesome. You can see him way in the back. But yeah, there's not really much going on currently. Greg Biffle's just trying to get around me, even though Greg Biffle doesn't like me. And he went off the track, if you saw that. And then right here, here's how it happened. I did not know Greg Biffle's arrival until that, when he slammed into me. And he does it about 3 or 4 times before Karma eventually catches up with him and nearly causes a caution to come out, which is great. You'll see that later on, but yeah, you can see Marshak Jr. way in the back. You can also see Kenny Wallace right there. But yeah, here comes Greg Biffle for the second time of the race, and tries it again. Boom. Nearly spins me out, though. If I didn't have assists on, like, the stability and traction control, I would have spun out. And then right here I decide, since I see Marshak Jr. in my NASCAR 6 playthrough, I'm allies with him, so I'm letting him go by, and then what I decided to do is me and Marshak Jr. for the rest of the race, we're just teammates now at this point. We're literally drafting with each other to get to the front. Which, yeah, as you can see, Kenny Wallace actually manages to catch up and actually passes Greg Biffle, which is pretty cool. So yeah, at this point, the straightaways, we are like a machine at this point. There's no way we're able to pass Tony Stewart, so the only way to really do it is be super allies with Marshak Jr. and bump draft him all the way. So this is what we do for the next 2 laps. Which is pretty cool, honestly. But, yeah. It should be very, very fun, honestly, to do that. And then I accidentally get into Truex a little bit right there and slam into the wall, which is great, or straight into the wall, but... Yeah, white flag. White flag is now out. We're actually catching Tony Stewart, which is pretty cool. We're catching him. It's not much, though. It's just we're too far behind, and there's really no way to even catch up to Tony Stewart, because he's a machine at this track. There's someone in pit road, if you see, like, way... Well, actually, they didn't even go into pit road, as you can see. They might have blown their engine. At this point, I'm thinking, you know what, I'm going to try passing Marshak Jr., and which he actually gives me the bottom. However, watch Tony Stewart. Something interesting happens to Tony Stewart. Right there, I don't know what happened. He blew a tire or something, and then you can see Rex, and right there I take the lead. So I went from second to first. My reaction in the race was like, oh, fuck, Tony Stewart just spun out. And yeah, that basically gave me the win. And off turn 4 into the tri-oval, we officially won Talladega. Like, are you shitting me? We win Talladega, which is great. That is batshit insane. Aaron Crocker, Nick Norden, though, his first top 10 of the season. And Kenny Wallace's first top 5, and Yaley got 5th. Ugh, gross. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching episode 2 of the NASCAR 7 playthrough. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to like, subscribe for more content, or do whatever you want. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed, everybody.